and B,
okay, I already like this guy. His Twitter is Black Uncle Iroh. That's automatically, that's dope. Okay, I don't know what the fuck he's about, but he named himself Black Uncle Iroh. Respect.
their name because they do debates on their platform. And I put debates in quotes here because these aren't actual debates. They don't usually have moderators. It's mostly them arguing against another person. It's a argument. They're argument bros.
Hold on. This is my favorite. Hold on. Her sister was a witch, right? And what was her sister? A princess.
These debates are often against people with significantly opposing viewpoints. And I'm just going to keep it real if you haven't already figured out.
As someone who's black and grew up in the Nation of Islam, Pan-African nationalist movements are not without their flaws. They're often not open to a lot of leftist thought and frankly should not be seen as entirely harmless. They are most certainly not as damaging as white nationalists. In fact, they're similar. The fact that they're similar is not a good thing. Hasanabi, first of all, when I say Pan-African nationalist movements, I'm not talking about fucking Nation of Islam, dude. What the fuck? And also, even then, like, you already admitted it. It's just like, no, that's not as a black man. That's a true take. That he's right. Not all Pan-African nationalist movements are built the same. It's like fucking looking at, you know, it's like looking at fucking any matter that revolves itself around black liberation and comparing it is something that a white person would do. Okay?
Like your hair, you run fast.
Like, you're, you know, and every movement like that has flaws as well. Most movements do. You just have to recognize, recognize the. Let me be clear on the record. I'm gonna be a fan of Debate Bros, but this sounds like some bullshit from Twitch. I'm told is habitually on some shit. I don't think Hassan would like being associated as a debate bro. He absolutely hates them and debates as a whole, and hasn't done it seriously in almost 2 years. Plus, the reason he got banned was because probably another Debate Bros community boosted it. Yeah, I don't know why I'm like considered a fucking debate bro. I don't know why he thinks I'm a debate bro. What the fuck? Basically, it was saying that the YouTube algorithm pushes black viewers of leftist content into white breadtube or black SigmaTube grifters. What the fuck is SigmaTube? He's also sus of your community and other debate bros because you de-radicalize people who are on the alt-right pipeline. He sus of communities built of almost former Nazis. First of all, one, understandable take, obviously. Two, my community is not exclusively comprised of people who were like ex-white nationalists. There are certainly people who were, though, in this community. But there's a difference between people who are in this community who used to be like ex on fucking 4chan or ex alt-right or whatever the fuck, and other communities. And that's because my main goal isn't to fucking thrive on being the big-brained intellectual titan, the intellectual giant, because when you do that, that just means they are still responding simply to power. You're not actually creating or crafting an argument or showing people a different worldview and constantly explaining that that is like the proper and appropriate way to live. You're just simply, you know, you're just simply the big bad gladiator, the intellectual gladiator. And as long as you continue being that guy, they will fucking give you money and give you praise because they think you're the smartest guy in the room, because that's the only way that they can manage. That's the only way they can understand who is smart or not. He also talks about how when people read theory, they don't read from black authors, which is understandable. Yes, I mean, every matter of even liberal spaces, every matter of intellectual thought crafted within the Western liberal college campuses, absolutely are crafted in a very white ethnocentric perspective.
Weeb.
So that is true. I think you get pigeonholed as a debater because you give people succinct talking points to take elsewhere to debate others. I mean, sure.
Not a weeb copium.
I'm the definition of a hate watcher. You literally manipulate any instance into an example of your agenda being most of your money in your pocket as possible by catering to the most popular party. It's pathetic. That's awesome. I love that. You want to know why I love that? Well, one, thank you for your honesty. But two,
The first thing I ever heard about you was this house. And after hearing about it for the last 3-4 years and coming to it, and this is no shade, this is a normal ass fucking house.
that's what everybody says. Every time people come to my house, it's literally the exact same response.
Like, I was trying to buy a house early this year. It didn't go through. But like, I don't want people to have seen the house I was about to buy, which is cost less because it's in Georgia, right? So
Yeah.
like, money is relative according to space. But like, this is a normal ass. It like going back to the anti-fandom shit. This is just like I have uncles.
You will never be able to describe it to people though. They literally in their minds have like turned it into. In their minds, they've turned it into like a mega mansion, like a chateau with a fucking moat. Like, it's a nice house. It's a really nice house.
It's a nice house,
and it's in a nice neighborhood, which is why it's so expensive. It's not. You're right. It's not in a nice neighborhood, but it's in a neighborhood that is expensive, for sure.
What did I just do? I just fucked that up.
No, I
Alarms.
that turned on its own. One of the TikToks that scared me.
Yeah, you may be on the list after we talk. Just keeping it 100 with you if you aren't already.
Oh,
on.
I'm on some lists, I think.
Yeah.
You flew this man out to gaslit us into shutting about your mansion. Fuck you, fake commie. Yeah, see, like these are. So that's actually a great take because that's a joke from a 18-month subscriber.
Okay.
And I think originally that's how it started. It started as like jokes inside of this community because we meme a lot, right? It happens. I mean, I'm live like 10 hours a day. But basically it devolved into like my haters taking it seriously. Like Hasan doesn't pay his editors. Hasan lives in a mega mansion. And at first we were like just joking about it. And then people literally took it seriously and decided like, oh no, that's actually real. And then half of it was like people who knew that it wasn't real but didn't care because it was like, oh, we get to shit on the e-celeb that I fucking despise for one reason or the other. And then the other half was like onlookers who are well-intentioned, who don't really understand it, and they just like kind of see shit out of context or see other people shitting on me and go, oh yeah, I guess he's a bad guy.
Yeah, it's a. And this is not to like this, I didn't come on to absolve you as the
No, I mean you don't have
wise
to.
black uncle, but like it is a weird like the one thing that I've kept in mind as we've talked is like the otherworldliness of the space we occupy as fake celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to be honest, like you also have to have a responsibility with the platform, right? And it's something I just fully started learning. A couple of months ago, I won't say the person's name, right? But I did a video about another creator's shitty video. And I didn't think to myself, and like, I was like, I really want this take to be out there. So I left the video out. And it didn't occur to me that even if my fan base wasn't about to go like dogpile that person, I put the green light on that person as ripe for critique. And so next thing you know, there's like 5 different critique videos about this individual and everything's getting blamed on me. I'm like, I didn't do half of this shit. But I was like, oh, but I kind of started the shit. And so like you lose control of your actual like voice. Like as soon as you say, I think about like, Spider-Man, the night he becomes Spider-Man and then he opens the door the next day and he rips it off the hinges. Like that's kind of the area we're in. And so what you have to learn is, right,
with great power comes great
with
responsibility.
great power comes responsibility. Fuck, I'm going to get drugged for this appearance. Because that uncle shit is not going to die after this. But for real though, you have to like you, Hasan, as long, you have to say, all right, this person just said something out of pocket. These people said something out of pocket, or this topic, this area is, I got a strong take on this. Then you got to go through like 7 filters about like, not so much filtering out like what is the right thing to say for the perfect, like non-offensive, whatever. But for as the chat goes down, which one of these motherfuckers is going to do the dumb shit? Is it you?
Well,
Bean Finder?
Sometimes there's people in here that are like hate watching. There's a lot of people that are hate watching that will literally act like they're your fans and go and do crusades on behalf of you in an effort to try to get you to try to get other people to hate you. So like the mania only gets worse. It's not like anything you can imagine that like some psychopathic individual would do, people do regularly.
I can't imagine your did.
Yeah, I mean at that
my
point,
shit's so wild. But
yeah,
like,
at that point it's just like I've just grown accustomed to it. You know what I mean? And I think ultimately the real reason why no matter what happens, I don't give a shit is because Kaya's not eating the shelf, guys. She's eating a thing that I put there. It's a frozen treat for her. That's what she's licking. No matter what happens, the reason why I let it kind of like brush past me is because when I started this at the Young Turks, one, I was working under someone, so I had no control over my life, no control over my content, no control over my IP. But I also only got negative feedback because TYT was already well hated, like 2014, 2015 Gamergate era. And I saw the entire space is occupied by neck-bearded fucking losers who were reactionary as fuck. And I never really thought I would get to this level of success that I got to. I never thought that I would see massive content creators openly, advocating for progressive policies and whatnot. Most of the time, progressive content creators, I think, in the early age of the, Gamergate era,
they were getting murdered out here.
They were not openly talking about their politics. Even if they were progressive in their personal lives, they kind of just like didn't really say anything. A lot of big progressive content creators still don't actually get into politics all too much regardless. But the environment was certainly almost entirely hostile with very little counter to that. And then like BreadTube came around and, all of these communities started growing online as a counter to all of that movement. So now having someone like myself be one of the largest Twitch streamers on the planet who exclusively talks about politics from a like straight up as leftist as you can get perspective,
right?
I never take it for granted. I always have that to fall back on, where I think to myself like, well, I do have a massive community no matter what.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And so like that's interesting. So as I'm sitting here, I'm trying to pay attention to the chat, but like literally I cannot process.
No, it's better that you don't. Trust me. It's literally better that you don't, because.
But this is like the Force or some shit. This is a powerful thing to have access to, even as it sometimes seeks to destroy you. Because I think about like a Cat Black who was like making content at that time, who was getting murdered even as BreadTube was growing. It wasn't like growing around her. And I don't remember the sister's name. She did like, you remember these old videos like White People Be Like? She was a dark-skinned sister. She had like at the time she had a big like curly afro. I can't remember her name. But like for them, like they're out of here. You know what I mean? Because of that same thing you're talking about. And so like
Francesca Ramsey.
Thank you. Francesca Lay. She's still making. She just popped back up on TikTok. And that's her. And when iDubbbz said his bullshit. Oh, let me phrase it. When iDubbbz said his apology and other people were like, iDubbbz don't apologize, she made a point to talk about how like y'all don't understand what their standpoint was like at the time. I don't know if she's so 4 years.
Yeah, that space was so awful. Like I mean, I was and obviously like I'm not
I wasn't even there. Like I was.
Yeah, I mean,
was still watching. Nostalgia Critic.
a lot of people had a personal journey as like they also got sucked into that space, and then they escaped it or moved on from it or demonstrated personal growth. But back then, I definitely was in the fucking crosshairs of that shit. I mean, I'll give you an example right here. Let's look up the Young Turks, Jordan Peterson, Hassan Piker, transphobic, right? Because look, I mean, here. I made a video sarcastically titled, Jordan Peterson is not a conservative transphobe. And this video came out 4 years ago. Well, even more than that. But yeah, okay. almost 5 years ago, December 30th, 2018. I wrote this video and I made this video. It has 2.9 thousand likes, 146,000 views. I can't see the dislikes now, but I'm pretty sure that the dislikes greatly outnumber.
RIP to the dislike button. It's all good. What so you just getting here 10 years ago. I think I asked this earlier. What's next? Is there a next? Like, are you like how long? Like I'm talking. You know, I'm thinking about how long I got. Like, I literally need this massager. I'm going to take it from you.
You take it.
All right. So thank you. I appreciate that. Like, because I'm old, I cannot keep doing this. I have like numbness in this hand that I use to edit.
Oh.
So I'm like, I have maybe 2 or 3 years of making videos like I do right now left. Right after that, I have to figure out how to continue to feed myself and my kids, yada, yada, yada. And I'll also be like pushing 50. So I just can't imagine myself being 50 years old arguing with, 20-year-old white kids on Twitter. So I think about that a lot. Mm-hmm. You have gotten way higher than me in like a shorter period of time ish. I don't know how long you've been.
Well, I mean, I've been doing commentary and writing and doing all of that on camera, especially like and in front of a prominent audience since I would say like 2014, 2015. So I've been around for a long time.
Okay. Well, so but yeah, so like,
but I blew up in 2020 for sure.
Okay, so you around the same time as me. So
yeah.
But like, so are you thinking when you're my age? Like I just turned 41, so you got 9 years, and then you might die. By the way.
Yeah, I know.
Are you gonna still be in front of this the channel looking at the chat?
I've had opportunities, even like earlier, like a couple of years ago, to make a change in my career to go in like the legacy media route that I refuse to take because I like what I do.
I would never do that.
That's I love, like, that's why I said, like, when you ask me how do you do this, I'm like, I'm mentally ill. This is real. I like the editorial independence that I have. I like that I don't have to take on any fucking I like that I don't have to take on any advertisers if I don't want to. If I want to, I can do it. And I do enjoy having a sense of community. So the way I make this content, it's in many respects not very easy to recreate by others because no one wants to take on like the mental anguish.
Yeah. That's another thing
we have very cushy lives. Ultimately, it's not like I'm fucking in the coal mines, you know what I mean, and doing backbreaking labor.
Right.
You know, this can be backbreaking in certain instances because
but it does take it. Like literally, my wife.
Yeah.
Like I've gained probably 20 pounds since I've got 100,000 subscribers. I have multiple health concerns that I did not have before the stress of this work. People that saw the drama video saw me have a panic attack in the middle of an interview. And then like, my wife is like, dude, you're always on your phone working, which is partly just like checking analytics, like keeping up with the bullshit, reaching out to people.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
My family always yelling at me about that.
And so like, I know, like, even if, and so let me make sure when I say I'm not going to do legacy media, I mean like going on the news, I'm assuming is like what people want from you. Like I would never like do like normal shit, but like, it's like, as soon as legacy media comes with a big enough check, I'm going to cut that check and then like figure out how to live off of it for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
and then do videos like every 6 months, like H Bomber guy. But I still have to say is because this is a weirdly taxing job in a way that it's hard for people to understand. How like, and I couldn't imagine, and that's me, one video a month. Maybe I'll tweet something stupid and controversial once every 2 weeks. FD Signifier versus 10-hour streams 4 or 5 days a week. Hasan Piker, like
I like it. I don't mind it. Like it would be much nicer if everybody liked me, or at least was like charitable, or at least fucking left me alone if they hate me. You know what I mean? But I don't mind it. By the way, it's 7 days a week. I'm live 7 days a week. Yeah. But that's it. It's just I enjoy it. I enjoy the sense of community that I have. It was almost a crutch for me, especially during COVID,
Yeah.
I was doing 13-hour streams every day,
Yeah.
13, 14-hour streams, 12-hour streams a day, because I loved having. I never took it for granted. I loved having a place where there were like-minded individuals that were like openly leftist or at least willing to learn about these sorts of concepts.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, when I started off, it wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
So I never really thought that it would get to this point. And I strike I think I strike a decent balance. I have a lot of normal friends, normies, civilians that keep me grounded. I try to have like some semblance of a personal life that's not, immediately in front of everyone's faces on camera. I have a pretty strict like diet and workout regimen. I'm incorporating other stuff into the content I create, like with traveling and whatnot. Like I went to Japan recently. I'm going back again this upcoming week. So
Dope.
so like I am at a point where I realize there's a lot of opportunity for me because I have all the material freedom to be able to accomplish things that I want to do. So now I can like marry that with content and do it that way.
That makes sense. I am a
Also, I don't have kids.
so that changes things.
Yeah.
Like it. I haven't had. That's one thing I'm scared as shit about. Is when my kids understand that I'm a YouTuber, and they will ask me about Mr. Beast. And I will I will avoid talking too much about
I
it.
told you already. He's like out of all the content creators that your kids will be watching, he is like
He's the least problematic.
yeah, he's like
I've
very
seen this
very
shit.
PG. Like he's very PG.
Yeah, it is.
Now.
I had a whole conversation with them about why billionaires shouldn't exist, and they teamed up on me. And so like now I'm debate brung my kids. It's like I've really been infected by.
Yeah. Wow. They like billionaires. They're like, why not?
Because they're like, why not? They can help people. I'm like, well, so helping people and what is happening in this content are two different things. But I will say, shout out to my kids. When we were watching Spider-Man, the scene where Indian Spider-Man comes on, and he's like, "This is where the British stole all our stuff." And I nudged my son, and my son's like, I know that. The British are evil." And I'm like, yes.
It's good.
Good job. And
It's
then when
good.
he found out, I don't know what we just did or saw when he found out that Spain was also colonizing people.
Everybody calm down. It's like not a spoiler, okay? Chill.
It's it's a
Baby
joke. I didn't even
spoiler.
get the joke away. But so anyway, so like we're doing well, but like the kids thing changes things because like I think about that a lot. I think about if one thing if I didn't have any kids, it was just me and my wife, right? Or if I was single and like I dropped dead in the middle of editing a video, it's a interesting Twitter thread, right? But like and I have black boys, and and there's like a level of the only thing I can call it is psychosis. In the way you have to look at the world when you're raising black children and black boys in particular, because the way that racism and white supremacy targets black boys is unique, but also, and it's unique for black women and black queer people, black trans people, etc. Like it's unique in all these ways, but I think it's one of the least understood dynamics because black boys are also on some moderate levels protected and engaged with patriarchy. And so people kind of leave that veneer of patriarchy on top of black men. Like, yeah, it's just y'all just be patriarchal. It's like, patriarchy don't work for us that same way. And like, I need my boys to understand that. And like, I can't expect anybody to teach them that except me. So
Yeah.
if I leave here and some debate bro fan runs up on me on the street and I don't go home, like it's a different level of disengagement, or more realistically, like I'm fucking debate bro fans. If I leave here and I
Don't
have
worry,
a
they
heart
don't
attack,
leave their houses.
right?
You're fine on
If
that.
I
front.
leave here and I have a heart attack or a stroke, from the stress of making content, it's a completely different opportunity structure for them. Like completely different. Even though my wife has advanced degrees and can make plenty of money without me, made more money than me before I started doing YouTube, the absence of the guidance I explicitly provide, not even just a man in the home or father in the home, but the specific guidance of here's how to navigate and understand the world as a young black boy, they lose that, and then all these other negative outcomes raise exponentially. And so I am never thinking about this job outside of or without thinking about when it ends, because it has to end at a certain point for me to know like I'm going to be healthy. And like I've lost, like 4 or 5. I'm trying to lose weight very slowly so I don't like boomerang. So I've lost like 4 or 5 pounds in the last couple of months. And I'm seeing my doctors on a regular basis.
She's bored.
She's bored. Like, get back to anyway. You get more of my point though. Like, so so I do get that. And I guess that's beautiful in a way. Like, I love that. All criticisms aside, you play a specific important role that wasn't here. As much as Sneeko and other people try to make the leftist men into soy boys. And that being bullshit, but it is explicitly valuable to present stereotypical traditional masculine images connected to these politics, and because historically they've always been there.
That's also part of the reason why, like, I don't really get too upset when, like, femcells will get fucking mad at me for some shit and be like, you're a child sex trafficker, because it is never like a normal argument. Because it's like, okay, well, it's fine. You're misguided in many ways, and it doesn't really matter. But like, I'm a counter to people like that. I'm a counter to people like the weirdos that want to take advantage of the pre-existing forms of acceptable oppression to basically make a career out of it, to use that as like a fucking rocket ship in the same way that Andrew Tate did, actually. Utilizing misogyny. Quiet, get down. I might need to take her out again to pee, because this is when she gets like rowdy and then does like the angry pee, which is, I can't even take care of a dog. I don't know how the fuck you take care of children. That's crazy.
It's define take care. Like, it's a challenge. I go ahead and do that.
Yeah, you can pause the chat by scrolling over and just like hitting the scroll. That's a big tip.
Cool. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let me get here.
Off. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Wait.
So what is all this shit mean?
Wait.
So it's a puppy emoji. Okay.
Sit.
And then
Kaya.
Screaming baseball.
That's just saying, let's go. Let's go emoji. Okay.
Did you like Spider-Man? Spider-Man was fucking amazing. It's top 10 probably all-time movie for me. Let's keep going. Have you played Fallout New Vegas before? It's good. I don't like open world games. I haven't played the new Zelda yet. I don't like open world games. Shout out CJ to X. Let's see. Shit. Can you touch your elbows together? Okay, all right. I haven't played Street Fighter 6 yet. I am at the age. I'm so good at Tekken that I can't play anything else. I'm too old to learn a new fighting game and be good at it. And so, like, with Tekken 8 coming out, my attitude is I'm not going to try to learn Street Fighter 6, because then I'll have to, like, go through a harder learning curve with Tekken 8.
This is good. I stress the importance to my chat that they should get their dogs to meet black people. So that
dogs are racist. People don't know that.
No, I know. I try to explain that because, like, I think it was a chatter that said it originally, where they were like, oh, are you, like, introducing your dog to black people? And then everyone started dunking on him, and I was like, no actually, that's literally why dogs become racist.
There's so many conversations around blackness that we don't even bother talking to y'all about. So one of the things is, like, you can always tell when a dog will tell on you how racist or white your friend circle is by how they respond to you. And so if I come in your house and your dog is immediately suspicious and aggressive of me, I'm like, okay, you don't have any other white people in your house.
Yeah,
by-
it's like
oh,
the only black person or the brown person they see is like the post office guy, the postal service worker. Then they're like literally going to fucking bark at every black and brown person that your dog sees.
Buy your nieces and nephews children's books with black characters in them. That's one thing I would do with my friends of my kids. Is like for a birthday party, if we bring a gift, we would sometimes bring a gift with black characters in it, because it's little like the way racism works is insidious. It's meant to be rendered invisible. You know? That's why you people and certain types of images of blackness being only a specific way is a problem, because it doesn't challenge the status quo of how blackness has to exist in reality. So little shit like,
not like critical race theory,
Little
brother,
like and critical race theory is like
or whatever Republicans define it as.
it's so like critical race theory is not even like it was never so it's not that's not even what these conversations even be about. And like critical race theory is very not mid like as a theory. It's a great deep dope theory, but it was never meant to be a like focal point of a political movement. It was meant to just be like a academic area of inquiry.
Well, that's precisely the reason why it was never like actually critical race theory that they were criticizing. It was always
Fucking
like
history.
whatever, like an accurate telling of history from the perspective of like assuming black people are full-fledged human beings.
Yeah, or just recognizing the role white supremacy.
Yeah.
Like the I just started watching the 1619. Is it 1619?
1619.
1619 project.
Oh
think it
yeah,
was called.
I don't know anything about that. Wait, is there a show now?
It's like it's on Netflix. I think it's a 1619.
Yeah, 1619 project, but I didn't realize there was a show around it too.
Netflix has a whole mini series, or is it Hulu? I'm sorry, Hulu. And so like even something like that, right? Like 'cause that's produced by Oprah. So it's like it does all this great stuff talking about the nature of white supremacy being baked into Americana everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it also, and that's kind of the challenge. It pulls well, from what I've seen, it pulls a handful of punches. I don't want to get into it. And that's kind of what happens with all black media, because we have to filter ourselves through white institutions,
Yeah.
So let's talk about Donald Trump, because I don't know what the fuck's going on. He got indicted.
Donald Trump, he, in the most Donald Trump way possible, hid or refused to give back classified documents, and now he has like a very serious case against him. Like he might actually fucking like in a normal world he would 100% go to jail. Like let's just say it like that. If he wasn't Donald Trump, if it was anyone else, they like immediately go to jail. Like no shot. Obstruction of justice. There's 37 charges. Only one of them is like a little spicy, espionage, being like, the intent to distribute it to like foreign entities or whatever. That one might not stick, but the 36 are just like straight up open and shut.